How many of you remember Flip Flop Fantasy from China Glaze? Or what about the hard candy polishes that came with the little ring on the top? And those French tips, those square French nails. The 90s and the early 2000s. So if you haven't figured it out, today we're gonna be talking about nostalgic nails. Nostalgic nails, nail designs, nail products. That's about it. And just, you know, nostalgia. We all love talking about things that we remember and the things that make us feel, you know, oh, I remember that. And you have a specific memory tied to it or something. And like, we all know how popular the like Y2k time frame is right now. So let's just dive into the nails of the early 2000s and the late 90s. Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start with China Glaze or Flip Flop Fantasy because I mentioned that already, and that really, to my knowledge, wasn't super popular in the, I'm gonna look out, when did it come out? Okay, so Flip Flop Fantasy was released in 2014. So Flip Flop Fantasy, super popular in the mid 2000s. It was what everybody got on their toes. It was for a long time what everybody got on their nails. This like neon-y, peachy color. I haven't found anything. I found a few things that are similar, but nothing exact. My sister was obsessed with this polish. So yeah, not late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. Oops, sorry. But still an incredibly popular color that gives me nostalgic feelings because it was pretty much what I chose every summer for a couple years. I am still looking for something to dupe that out with, by the way. Let's chat about Chanel's Vamp. This was definitely a late 90s situation. Okay, I don't know the exact order. I can't remember if Pulp Fiction came out first and Vamp was based on the color she was wearing on her nails, or if she was actually wearing Vamp on her nails. I honestly don't remember, but it's all around the same time. I want to say there's even a scene in like Buffy or something where they mention it.
Vamp nail polish. Over.
So as you can see, it's like a super, super dark, deep, like cherry red. Very popular in the late 90s. It gives me like The Craft vibes. I was very obsessed with that movie when I was young. You know, everybody was light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Every sleepover. And I felt like in order to be a witch, you had to have dark red nail polish. And this would have been the color you had. So 10-year-old me decided. What's next? Y'all remember, obviously, hard candy with the little rings attached to it. So cute. That was definitely late 90s. What was the really popular color? Sky. Sky was the super popular color because of Alicia Silverstone mentioned it on the David Letterman show. That super light blue. Oh yes, love that. That is such a Cher color. Could you imagine? Yes. I bet you she was on Letterman because of Clueless talking about hard candy nail polish. I never had any of those polishes with the rings on them. I don't remember having any hard candy nail polish. Hard candy went through this weird like branding for a while. Like right now it's available in like Walmart and stuff. I want to say at the time it wasn't. It was like a higher end polish. Maybe I'm wrong. Definitely should have looked into this before filming this video. But that's what you're here for. If you know, let me know in the comments below. Was hard candy sold at like a, did Sephora exist? No. Did it? Yeah. Was it sold at like a Sephora? And then it like switched to like a Walmart? Why do I feel like that happened? Hard candy was in Sephora and then it went to Target and then Urban Decay took over for hard candy?
Hi, editing me here. I just want to clear a few things up about this hard candy business. Okay, so the founder, she mixed that sky blue shade herself to match a pair of sandals, and she got so many compliments on it. She mixed a whole bunch and gave them friend, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? Then she ended up selling them at Fred Siegel and Nordstrom. Then LVMH purchased Hard Candy, which also owns Sephora. And so I think, yes, Hard Candy was sold at Sephora. So that was back in 99 that LVMH acquired Hard Candy. So then it was later sold to Phallic Fashion Group, weird name, guys, which was like a duty-free kind of market. And then in 2009, Hard Candy announced a partnership with Walmart. So that is the Hard Candy situation. Let me know if you would like an entire video on Hard Candy. I think that might be very interesting. Okay, back to the video.
Well, speaking of Urban Decay, look at these polishes. I, again, never owned any Urban Decay polishes, although that is how I was introduced to Urban Decay, if that makes sense. It wasn't through makeup originally. I was originally introduced to Urban Decay through the nail polishes in a magazine, I want to say in a magazine. Same with Too Faced. I was introduced to Too Faced in a magazine. I don't think it had anything to do with nail polish, but I was introduced to Too Faced in a magazine with that weird little drawing lady they had. It was like how to do a back to school. I don't remember, but I was introduced to Too Faced that way too. Just look at that whole line though, right? Is that not early 2000s? You've got your like, you know, futuristic Y2k sort of silvery based blues and purples. You've got this really cool green that looks almost duochrome-y. Like that would have been very interesting in the early 2000s on the nails. And then you've got the dark ones, you know, so you can stay, you know,
dreamy and vampire.
I mean, Wet n Wild. Who didn't own Wet n Wild nail polish at some point, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you can get it at the dollar store. Walmart, Target, wherever. Like, you could get Wet n Wild nail polish everywhere. And now they're sold in like square bottles. But back in the day, they were perfectly round bottles. Look at these. Yes. You've got another pastel blue, hot pink, and then another interesting green. I don't remember like shifty greens being super popular in the early 2000s or the 90s. I mean, I was a child / teenager, so why would I remember that if it wasn't to my taste? I still love Wet n Wild nail polish. You're looking to build your nail polish collection and you are on a budget. Wet n Wild Hard Candy, yes, do it. Oh, Revlon streetwear. Again, I don't know if these still exist, but like these metallic bottles. And look, I think those are the sparkly streetwears in the background. I had 1 or 2 streetwear polishes, I must have. I'm actually thinking that like this dark purple one is like really looking familiar to me. I had a lot of Revlon polishes as a kid at some point. Do you guys remember the Sally Hansen chrome nail makeups? They were nail makeup and they were chrome. Like, to my knowledge, this was the first attempt at like a chrome nail. Before that, was it OPI had that silver aluminum one that looked like aluminum foil, and now we're to the point where we can literally put foil and like we can have all the effects on our nails now. But back in the day, y'all, this was the best of the best. Not best quality, because it was called nail makeup. It was not intended to last a long time. It was intended, like this was essentially a peel off nail polish. This was meant to come off easily. So I got it for my grade 8 graduation. It matched my dress, and I had put it on a couple days, like a few days before the graduation, just like to get it done. And it ended up coming all off by the next day. And I distinctly remember going back to Walmart with my mom and asking, Walmart or Shoppers? It might have been Shoppers Drug Mart, so we could talk to the lady in the cosmetics section. So I think we went to ask why, or to return it, to get something else, and that's when she was like, no, it's a nail makeup. It's meant to come off easily. It wasn't chromey in like the sense that it had like a reflective shine. It was just chromey in that metallic sense. So if you wanted it to have a metallic shine, you would have to put a glossy top coat over top. But back in those days, it's like nobody used a top coat or a base coat. Maybe it's because I was 12. I don't remember. I do remember. So we put this on my natural nails and it came off way too fast. And the lady at the cosmetic desk suggested we put it over press-ons, so then that way you're not getting any bend from your natural nail. Smart lady. So we did. We bought some of those inexpensive press-ons from the drugstore, sized them out, painted them with this, and that is what I wore so that I didn't have to worry about my nail polish chipping. And it did a much better job. I did end up chewing off those nails at a friend's house. That's gross. Oh, another Sally Hansen, Pacific Blue, original formula. Again, I don't know when this came out. I know the extreme wear polishes have existed for quite some time, like when I was in high school and whatnot, I think. They've existed for a fair amount of time. Anyway, and Pacific Blue. This was the original formula, original Pacific Blue. It is a slightly different color now. It is not the same. This was when I first got into like doing my own nails and collecting nail polish and whatnot, Pacific Blue was the must-have color. It was, you wanted to get the original Pacific Blue. It was like sought after to have the original Pacific Blue. And still is one of my favorite blues. Wonder if I have any like dupes for that. That might be interesting. So, Sally Hansen, Extreme Wear, Pacific Blue. Fan of that. If you were in the nail community in the mid 2000s collecting nail polish, you've probably heard of it and you probably understand what I'm saying in that the color that now exists is slightly different. Oh my goodness. Okay. Did you guys ever have and or see these on infomercials? These nail art, whoa, there was a brush inside. Don't know that I ever knew that. These Hot Designs nail art pens. I definitely remember seeing them advertised on infomercials, but for my birthday or for Christmas one year, somebody got them for me. I don't remember who, but somebody got them for me and these were
life-changing.
I was doing all kinds of things with these. I don't remember being able to twist it off for the brush on the inside, but I might just not be remembering that. I will say, the examples of designs that they give you on the box, like those stars, not happening. You would not be able to get those stars out of that pen. Not happening. The ladybug and the flowers and probably that, like the other ones you probably could, although this chevron one, you're not getting lines like that. You're still gonna need tape. Polka dot, yeah, for sure. The leopard, you could probably do too. The leopard you could probably get done. But those stars, not a chance. You're not getting those stars. Those pointy edges with that, I don't think so. I don't think so. You'd have to at least I wasn't able to get something like that. But these were my first step into nail art. Mostly polka dots because those were the easiest things to do. Polka dots and flowers. Those were the easiest things to do. I tried doing some like, I want to say maybe Hansen or Backstreet Boy nails, like writing out the name. That was no, I did not do great at that. I might be a lot better at it now, but at the time, no.
What's next? Oh.
So around the same time as, okay, so when I was first getting into nail polish and all that good stuff, 2012, 2013, when I first started collecting nail polish and stuff, all that good stuff, I was introduced to peel off base coat. At the time, I would spend my weekends painting my nails. I would paint my nails, do a design, take a picture, take it off. Paint my nails, do a design, take a picture, take it off. I was participating in a lot of those nail art challenges, so I would do 5 or 6 of them in one day. And then the last one is the one I would keep on for the week kind of thing. In doing that, I learned from Simply Nailogical that I needed a peel off base coat. Those were very expensive at the time. In my research, I learned Yellow Stopper, I got it from Sally's, was an excellent peel off base coat. It's actually meant to be a top coat to help yellowing, especially if you're using like natural nail colors and whites and like French, those sort of things. It's gonna stop it from yellowing from the sun. I guess you can also put it on your natural nails to help them stop them from yellowing from the sun. But I would put this on as a base coat, do everything on top of it. I think 2 coats, fully dry, then doing everything on top. And I believe it worked fairly well as a peel off base coat. It would last longer and was easier to work on top of than just glue, because white glue in a pinch is a peel off base, but it was nowhere near as long lasting as a proper base coat. I had a bottle, like one of these big old round ones. I think I went through the entire thing. Maybe I might've bought a second one. I don't know. By that point, I might've been into gels and then therefore was not doing peel off anything. Okay, so let's get into just some sort of basic like salon design. Like if you went to the nail salon in the early 2000s, even late 90s, but early 2000s, you were getting one of these designs. No questions asked. So we have our basic white French, just basic, like so square. The French comes halfway down the nail bed. We're not elongating the nail bed at all, making them look weird and short and stumpy. Same here. These ones even flare out a tiny bit. Now, I know that this is coming back in style. I'm fully aware that French tips are kind of like a classic, and they just always sort of evolve with style. So I know that this sort of really chunky white tip is kind of coming back, but it's coming back with a much more arched smile line. So it's not so straight across and it's not so low down the nail. We're extending the nail bed a little bit. So you're getting more nail bed. You're getting more even color blocking as opposed to this where this is like more white than pink. And some of them even flare out a little bit, which I don't care if that comes back in style. I hate nails that flare out. We have the classic French with an accent French. That was always very popular. It still is quite popular. Again, these babies are flaring out a little bit, and the ratio of pink to white is weird. And these honestly look to be, the hand pose and the quality of the photo looks to be more recent. So I'm gonna say that this is somebody recreating that sort of early 2000s French design. Oh, yes, here we go. Now we've got the classic French design, same things, you know, basic square, pink and white. The ratio was weird, but we've got these black and white hand painted little swirly doopy flowers. That was like my go-to. When I went to the salon to get my nails done, I got either, you know, your classic square French and an accent with flowers, or a solid color with accent with flowers, always on the ring. And this, again, this is a very simple, you know, salon design. That's what you would get in pretty much any nail salon you went to. Okay, so you can see in this photo how straight the smile line is for a lot of these older French nails. It is a very straight across. And again, so much white in comparison to the pink. But I'm really looking at this picture because of these little firework lines. So when I was young and I would go to the most inexpensive nail salon that I could find, and I would get my square French tips, and then I wanted accent, and I would say, oh, can I get some art? And then they would ask me if I wanted flowers or lines. Generally, I think I said flowers, but when I said lines, this is what you got. It would like whoosh, 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 like palm fronds. Kind of like it always gave me a very leafy vibe. So yeah, this is a classic accent nail in my mind. For a long time, also French, you know, to spice up your French. This is what we did in high school a lot, you know, because you didn't want to have the same nails as your teachers, and everybody was getting French tips. So your teachers had French tips. Everybody in school had French tips. You didn't want to have the same nail. So you would get, you know, your accent nail with the lines or the flowers, or you would do a line of another color under the French, generally one with a sparkle in it. I really liked doing silvers for a while. I also really liked doing black, not a black French, but the black under the line. Yeah, so this was a super popular thing, especially younger people. I would see this on a lot. This isn't something that you would necessarily see on somebody who might be like 50. Now, maybe, I'm saying in like 2002, this isn't something that you would see on like a teacher. We have another French tip, because that's pretty much what you got in the early 2000s was French tips. It was so rare to go to a nail salon and get acrylics and then a full color. That was so rare. I honestly want to say that part of it is because like, well, I went to the nail salon, I want people to know I have fake nails. And if it's a full color, it'll be harder for people to tell that I have fake nails. So I want the ridiculous white square tip so everyone knows they're fake. You know, that's the sort of vibe that I always got from it. But you wanted to spice up your French tip a little bit more than just adding a little bit of sparkle underneath it. You went with an entirely different color, like hot pink. Oh, let me tell you, I did hot pink tips a number of times. I think I have pink French tips for my graduation in high school. Now, I would have done those myself. I mean, I was going to salons in high school, in and out of high school, but there was a point in time when I started doing my nails myself and I was doing French tips. But for my graduation, I decided to do them pink. I'll see if I can find a photo. So yeah, hot pink French. And then of course, another accent. Looks like somebody chose the line design again. And this time we have purple and purple. This time we have silver and black coming in from one side and one corner. Look at that. Fancy. So pretty much all of those designs we looked at were French tips, but that is what I saw. That is what I saw on people in the early 2000s was French tips. If it wasn't a French tip, then it was probably short, natural nails in a solid color. All right, so that is all of the nostalgic nail art I have right now. If you like this video, let me know. I will try and do something like this again. Maybe we'll choose a different decade. I know that sort of like goes into my nails of the past sort of thing, but hey, we'll just let it flow. Let the creativity flow. So yeah, if you have a different sort of time period that you would like to see me do this with, let me know. I'll try. I can't guarantee anything, but I will try. And let me know if like you have memories of any of these styles or polishes or whatever, if you wore them. Let me know. Give me your nostalgic nail stories. I would love to hear it. And obviously, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe if you wish to continue being here. It definitely helps my channel out if you subscribe and hit like and comment and all that stuff. It helps push things into the algorithm. And that will be it for me today. I will see you in my next video. Bye.